On day 8 of training camp for the Miami Dolphins, we finally saw a victory for the offense in a red zone and situational day. While there were 3 turnovers, and I got to acknowledge this, there was a fumble Zach Sealer forced and Bradley Chubb recovered that would have been returned for a touchdown, and 2 interceptions during the red zone. I would say and argue to anyone that the Dolphins offense finally delivered a day where they were better than the defense. Joining me is Isaiah Smalls, Miami Dolphins beat reporter for the Miami Herald. Do you agree or disagree with that synopsis of what happened on day 8?
There is no way that you can tell me with a straight face that the offense won the day despite committing 3 turnovers. Now, if you want to if you want to say that the first team offense won the day, I think you'd have a little bit of an argument there. But to say outright that the offense won the day, okay. I think that's a little bit of a misconception, my good man.
All right, let me break it down for you.
Go ahead. Do what you got to do.
Do you have any issues putting it in the end zone during red zone situation?
No. Again, that was primarily the first team. Go ahead.
Okay. Jalen Wright, you saw that touchdown that he ran from the 10-yard line where the offensive line created a cavern and got him into the end zone, right?
And remind me, what offensive line unit was that again?
I can't remember if it was the first or the second.
It was the first.
Okay. All right. Then we get to Tyreek's two tugs on Jason Marshall when he scored on Jason Marshall twice.
Mm-hmm. That's real.
Okay.
That's real.
Still first team. Okay, still first team.
It's still first team.
We get into the situational periods where Tua drives this team into red zone, no issue. I believe it was Zach who scored a touchdown to Tanner Connor in the situational period.
Yeah, that was a good play. That was
okay, that was second team, right?
That was second team. That was the first, but again, that's the first time you mentioned the second team. That's the first.
Yours, I think he didn't convert in his red zone period, but then we get into the short yardage conversion. Dolphins offensive line, no issues, and we know this organization, this franchise, what kind of reputation do they have?
It's not necessarily the best. Definitely not outside the building. Let's make that clear. Outside the building, the reputation is not physical, more so finesse. I don't want to use the S word, but you know.
Yeah, I use it in a column that I wrote for the Miami Herald. And I pointed out it's the worst thing you could call a football player and a football team.
Worst thing you can call a grown man.
That's true. That's fair. I think there are other things you can call a grown man. The Raiders are insinuating a lot of it about Christian Wilkins, which is a little weird, but that's a whole nother subject. But I don't live in the world of denial because we were sitting there talking to Farrell Brown, new Dolphins member, and I kind of reference it in everybody we talked to today was like a new guy, and they were like, soft. We ain't soft. Who said we soft? I ain't never heard that. I'm like, y'all clearly not paying attention.
Yeah.
Like,
y'all not reading up on the Miami Herald before you make your choice.
Don't you put it on us. Hold on, wait. Don't just put it on us.
I'm just saying. I'm saying this because I don't want anyone else to read anything else. I'm just what? Why you want me to mention the South Florida Sun Sentinel? The Palm Beach Post?
Let's just say the media, the big bad media.
Yeah.
Even Mike knows the reputation is a finesse football team.
Yeah.
Oh, they're fast, but they're not physical. Last year, they couldn't even run the ball consistently. Yeah. Had to substitute short passing plays because they couldn't run the ball. Tyreek said they had 5 and 6 people in the box and we couldn't run the ball. So don't act like, oh, you tough now.
That's right.
Like you couldn't run the ball. So, and my point of why I say the offense edged the day is because for the third straight day in pads, the volume continues to get turned up on the physicality, and it's the offensive line that's setting the tone.
Of course.
And where we saw for the first week of practice before the pass came on, it was the defensive line that was beating their face in. The defense line made it very difficult to execute anything. You put some pads on, these offensive linemen feel like they got a little protection, and they starting to get physical. Today, one-on-ones, and I watched that.
Yeah, you love yourself some good offensive versus defensive.
It's the most beautiful thing in the world to me.
Yeah, that's the you do not pay attention to the wide receiver.
I do not even look. You could tell me anything happened over there. I don't care. Because the good stuff is right over there in the trenches.
No, that's very true. That's very true.
Today, Patrick Paul, Patrick Paul is gaining so much confidence. And I do need to see him go against Jalen Phillips because he's primarily doing it against Bradley Chubb. Bradley Chubb gets nothing from Patrick Paul in one-on-ones. Nothing. Nada. Zero.
Yeah.
And Patrick is getting to the point now where his jab is jolting Bradley Chubb back. It's the initial step jab, and Bradley Chubb is like off balance. And today we had Teron Armstead in the crowd watching. And every time Bradley was over there doing his thing, every time Patrick Paul was over there doing his thing, he go over there to Teron's like, you like that? You like that? You like what you see? You like what you see? And, man, Teron had to be so pleased and so impressed.
Of course, man.
Then you transition that to the field right now. I don't know if I've seen a second-year player take that big of a jump. I'm trying to think. Maybe Jarvis Landry took like a massive jump as a second-year player. Like Patrick Paul, he grown man in it now. He like this my thing. This me right over here. And it's quite impressive to see. I'm not gonna sit there and praise anybody else. I'm not even honestly pleased with what I'm seeing from Austin Jackson, but that's what I'm used to. That James Daniel is doing very well. He's consistently improving. You could see that line is gaining some sort of chemistry. They're gaining, and I'm curious to see how it transitions to Chicago. I cannot make you any promises. No, I can't. But can I vouch for the second team line? Hell no, I can't. I won't. I'm not putting my name on it. Don't like it. Don't want it. You need 3 new players. It's not going to be good enough. Don't expect to win an exhibition game with that offensive line. It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. Now, I would gladly love to be wrong, and maybe somebody turns up the dial on physicality, because sometimes there are guys who are not practice performers. But I would say that whole line, from the rooter to the tutor, all of it, the second team, third team, whole was bad. And we'll see. Maybe the second team and third team defensive line are beasts. I don't know.
That's true. Yeah, because they consistently, specifically on that line, that D line, second, third team, they consistently are beating blocks in the backfield.
Ollie Gordon two times he got stopped in the backfield by I forgot who did it. I got 2 times 5-yard losses.
Yeah, it's crazy. While you're looking that up, I just want to speak a little bit more about Patrick Paul. I think the potential here is very high, just considering if they hit on both Patrick Paul and Jonah Savaiinaia, because for all intents and purposes, that left side is officially locked down for the until you got to pay them in 3-4
Thank
years.
you.
Right? Until you got to pay them
right now. Left tackle's getting like $120 million.
Exactly. So until then, you have about a good that's his first year. You got about 3 years. 3 years before that check is gonna come due, right? But that's for specifically speaking on what we had last year and transitioning to this year. Let's just hope that they can really get a push in that run game, because man, if they start getting cooking in that run game, I think the sky's the limit for this team, because we already know that passing attack is gonna be lethal. But for me, it's the run game that they have to get going this year, because that opens up everything else. Tyreek talked about it today.
They have to become more of a physical running team, and but they know that. I'm glad that they know that. Today I happened to give My top performer is Patrick Paul, clearly. I named Tua one of my top performers. We are on day 8 of no interception from Tua. I'm trying to think. Maybe the only incomplete pass is the pass Alec Ingold dropped. No, I'm sure we had more. We had more incomplete passes in the red zone.
Yeah, but he dropped 2 of them. Alec Ingold dropped 2. Basically the same play. Yeah, it's the same play. They ran the same play. The wheel out the backfield. Yes,
see the second one.
He dropped. Remember the first one? The second one was in the red zone. The second one was in the red zone.
Okay, I might have been doing something else, focus on something else. But he dropped another one in the red zone. Jack Jones pulled off an interception today. Hot and cold kind of player.
He got beat a lot during the one-on-ones. I'll be the one to say it. He got beat a lot during the one-on-ones. I think, Travis Wingfield, the Dolphins media guy, he noted that the effort there was strong, that he, fought through the catch and tried to rip it out at the end. I'll have to pay attention tomorrow to see if that's exactly what happened. But from what I just saw, it just looked like tough catches consistently being made over him, right? So
by who though? By who? Are we talking
I believe NWI had one. Definitely Ezukama. I definitely remember that. Ezukama definitely had one. And that's when I was like,
hold on. So he was getting beat by size and not speed?
It looked like size more so than speed. It looked like guys were going over him.
Sorry, folks. I don't watch one-on-ones. I can't. I can't. Like my big boys over there working. I got to lock in. But and also somebody else had an interception.
Colbert.
John Sanders Jr.
Oh, yes. Colbert had the
safety, third team, deep on the depth chart, probably playing because Dante Trader is out. But you just never know. It'll be interesting to see how that safety situation pans out in terms of whether there's kind of movement, or is Elijah Campbell locking down that starting spot until Ife Melifonwu comes back. We have not put Ashton Davis on IR, this is important because if you put Ashton Davis on IR before we create the 53-man roster, he cannot return back to the team. It's a stupid rule, but it is a rule. So now you have to go into practice with, actually they're at 89 players. Because they don't have Ashton Davis. They're short more because they got other guys on the PUP and whatnot. Things I did not like. Jason Marshall Jr. got beat by Tyreek twice. My top standout, I got to mention this, is Matt Dickerson. I think I've said this before on this podcast. I am at the point where I'm ready to say Matt Dickerson is my third defensive lineman. He is better, more consistent than Jordan Phillips and Zeke Biggers. I know they are the drafted guys. I know they're definitely going to be safe on the 53-man roster. Mm-hmm. But am I going to cut my third best defensive lineman? I don't know about that.
No, he's definitely been in the backfield making plays for sure.
Yeah. He was in beast mode. One-on-ones. He had 2 tackles of Ali Gordon in the backfield for like 5-yard losses. I'm not really paying attention to who he's going up against, so I can't promise you that he's going to be balling in the exhibition season, because it just might be he's going against a weak left guard or but the second team defensive line, I mean, from Grayson Murphy, Chop Robinson, Matt Dickerson, those are the only guys I really want to name. Those guys are owning Quentin Bell.
Yeah.
Those guys are owning that second team offensive line. They just they big dogging them. Yeah. They walking them every day. And it's, even to the point where you can't really evaluate Jalen Wright that well until Jalen Wright works with the start. If you're watching Jalen Wright with the starters, you could evaluate him. You watching him with the second team?
Yeah. Might as well. It's a wrap for sure.
It's a wrap. And I don't know. I don't want to cause panic, even though generally what I say people put a lot of stock in. But yeah, you're gonna be hitting that waiver wire. You're gonna be hitting that thing hard on offensive linemen because you do not have a backup left tackle. Right now, Liam, who is injured, is your top backup at every single spot. Maybe not center. Maybe now because Andrew Myers is doing well at center. I have Liam learning how to play tackle again, which is a position that he actually started out his career in.
Yeah, definitely.
Because only person I'm only keeping, if you ask me, it's only seven with Liam, 7 offensive linemen that belong on your 53-man roster. 7. That's it. I'm
mad at that.
Like everybody else, they can be on the practice squad.
Yeah.
But do you belong on the 53?
Yeah, nah,
let's be real about this.
That's real. I mean, I think at the end of the day, because offensive line, we said it time and time again on this podcast, but offensive line is one of those positions where a guy's going to go down eventually, right? And so it really requires you to have solid backups, preferably at least 3, maybe 4, but they have 1, 2, including Liam. It's bad. It's bad. It's really bad. It's really bad.
Let me bring up some positives. Zach Wilson, he looks like the number 2 quarterback right now. Quinn is sort of tapered off a little bit, and I expected that. I kind of felt like when he had that 2-day streak, I felt like Mike was like calling things in his wheelhouse. You know what I'm saying? Mike was like, all right, let me get this rookie a little confidence. Let me get him a little confidence. And then when we came to Mike, was like, yo, Quinn is playing good. Mike was like, shut that down. Nah,
yeah, he did. He definitely did. He definitely
did. I was just trying to help him out. Just trying to help him out a little bit. And the backup running backs, obviously Devon Achane, I don't have a problem. I don't have an issue. Do I know if he can pass protect? Not really, but it is what it is. I got to tell you, though, and you know how I feel about Jalen. Really hard to evaluate Jalen. I'm sorry, Jalen Wright. We got to be specific on the Jalen.
Yeah, there's a bunch of Jalen.
Because when he's with the second unit, it's a struggle. Now, when he's with the starters, okay. You know, it's something to work with. Same thing with Ollie Gordon. Don't matter who Alexander Madison is with.
That's true. That's true. He's definitely they found something. Obviously, the Dolphins struggled with short yardage situations in previous years, right? But they might have found a guy in Madison because those inside handoffs to him are working. They are working. He's getting north, south. Not no east to west.
Yards. He get it.
Yeah, he just is going. And whether it's 3 yards, 4 yards, or today, I know he had like a 10 to 12 yard one today. I mean, look, he looks to be one of those guys that are certainly going to help them in short yardage situations. Which
I'm not even gonna lie. When we didn't have pads on, wasn't impressed. We were having a private discussion with my peers, and I said, "He ain't making this team," and I am absolutely wrong. I apologize, Alexander. You are that player that shows up. You show up when pads come on.
Yeah.
When pads come on, there are players who get slower, and then there are also players who stay the same speed and get faster. And Alexander Madison is somebody who plays very well with the pads on. I got to acknowledge Pharaoh Brown too. You know, I thought I'm not moving off this. Probably the slowest tight end I've ever seen in my life. That man runs in quicksand. Now he is a blocking fool. We talked today because right now I can't say he's not the number 1 tight end at this present moment. I cannot say. There's a physicality that he plays that he brings to the table. And he said today, I want to be the number 1 blocking tight end in the NFL. He's like, I played 8 years as an undrafted player who made $2,000 as a signing bonus. I've made it 8 years doing what I do. And he's like, my goal is to play 16. I can do another 8. And if you mauling people out there, you gonna find work. So props to him.
And he caught a few balls today.
Yeah, no.
He's couple days. He's caught a few balls. Like he hasn't, from what I remember, I don't think he's dropped anything. Which is always a good sign. So he's catching balls, making plays, in addition to being a force in the blocking. So I think, I don't know about another 8 years if he got that in him, but he certainly is going to help this team for sure.
Yeah, no, I would have being transparent.
Yeah,
he would have been on that Alexander Madison pile. I'm like, I'm sorry, I no pads, I don't see it. But they dialed up the physicality when the pads came on, and that's what I'm very curious to see. That's why I'm dying to see. Not even Chicago, and you're going to Detroit, so you're gonna see the real good practices.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm waiting for it. Yeah, you're gonna see the real good practices. I'm dying to see whether or not this team has dialed up their physicality, and I'm very curious to see it. I'm seeing a little bit better, and I think James Daniels definitely helps that run game. Andrew Myers is not embarrassing himself at all. I couldn't even tell you that he was a third team center in there with the starters. Okay. And I'm like, you should be real proud of yourself. And you know, I'm interested to see what he does in the exhibition season, because clearly he's gonna get a lot of work. Because the other guys, they can't. The other guy,
they can't even snap the ball accurately. Quinn pulled down one today. I was all the way up here. I'm like, yo, what is y'all doing? Like, come on, get it together. Man. Maybe they need some more. Look, I'm hearing all this stuff about the post practice running and all that stuff. You need to do some post practice snapping for sure. Good Lord.
Yeah. But one guy we talked to today was Ollie Gordon II. And I had an opportunity to ask him, because it's always the same thing with running backs, the rookies. They're like, yeah, I got this playbook. Yeah, I got this playbook. Yeah, man, I know this. I got it. It's not a problem. And then when they get to their second year, they'll confess, I ain't know nothing.
Or in Tyreek's case, when they get to year 4, they'll say that I didn't know it.
yeah, whatever. We went for 2K. Tyreek long time ago. Whatever he says. Here's Ollie Gordon talking about his experience in this Dolphins backfield and how much veterans are helping him out.
With my teammates, learning from my vets. Honestly, I can't thank them more. They take the time out their day to help me understand what I'm doing. My coach helps me. Our line's coming together looking great. So, hey, I feel like camp's been moving great for us.
Every rookie running back always comes in here and says, okay, I know the playbook. And then in year 2, they say, I didn't know what I was doing out there. What is the honest answer? Do you get it, or you just don't know what's going on?
So, yeah, no, I definitely get it. Like I said, I can't thank my vets more. Like I said, my vets take the time out their day to help me. My coach takes one-on-one time with me. I'm just glad I'm able to put my pride aside and actually ask my vets for help, instead of acting like that stuck-up rookie. So, I'm just glad I'm able to ask them for help. They don't make fun of me for stuff I don't know. They actually help me. So, I feel like it's great being in the room with them and my coaches. So, yes, sir.
Ollie, do you think about where you are on the depth chart every day, or is that something that you think is a positive, or is that a negative?
Honestly, I don't really think about it. At this time, it's too early to tell anything. And like I said, I'm here for the team. Whatever the team need me to do, I'm here to do. So, depth chart not really in my mind right now. It's about getting my offense down, being able to help my teammates, running for my teammates, stuff like that.
You have a physical running style. Have you thought about, I know you don't probably know the reputation of this team, but they want to change the reputation to be known as a physical, not finesse team. How do you do that?
Like I said, just get the ball downhill. That's really what, like you just basically just answered it. Just getting the ball downhill. And like I said, whatever the team, I'm here for it. Whatever we need to do.
Yeah. The one thing about the running backs is, you can't really tell anything during practices because nobody's getting taken to the ground. You can't see who drives through contact. So we'll get a great opportunity to see that in the exhibition season. Those are the guys that get the most work. I think the one concern I do have is that there are only 4 running backs on the roster right now. So Ollie Gordon, boy, he's going to be playing, the second half of every game? He going to get grinded.
Yeah. Ideally, What, you would want 6?
No, 5. I think 5.
5.
I mean, they had to cut one earlier to make room for somebody that they signed, maybe Cornell Armstrong. But I did find it interesting that they added Blaine Gabbert. They added the Gabbert kid back at quarterback, number 4, instead of adding a running back. But we got time for all that. But the last thing you need is, okay, a running back goes down in exhibition season, then you down to 3, and then what? You gonna play Devon Achane? Like what you doing?
Not in the exhibition season. Good Lord.
Yeah, no. I wouldn't be surprised if Devon Achane doesn't see a carry in the exhibition season. That's not what you. That's not maybe the day Tua plays, but I'm not, because I think he's gotten injured. He got injured his first preseason. I'm not sure if he got injured his second preseason, but I make this argument, and and it wasn't a very popular argument because I made it on the Joe Rose show with Kim Bocamper there. I'm not sure I can afford to take the chance of playing Patrick Paul too much in the exhibition season.
Ooh, that's that. Okay.
Can you chance it?
No, you can't. I mean, yeah, from that perspective, yeah. I don't think you can. Just simply off the strength that, like, who's your backup? Is it?
I mean, if Tua's playing, yes. If Tua's playing,
yeah. But like without, I'm assuming that like, I mean, Tua will probably get a series, right? But I'm assuming that, like, we're talking about without Tua. Why would Patrick Paul be in the game? I can't give you.
And I'm not saying that he doesn't need to work. That's not what I'm saying.
But that's what the joint practices are for.
That's exactly that's what the joint practice is for. It's a safer environment. In a game, risking injury, and I know you can't play worried about injury, but
shoot, I think you can play worried about injury in preseason, because at the end of the day, like, so many injuries happen during this time that it's paramount that you just escape healthy. Like, to me, of course, you want everyone learning their playbooks, right? But I would say 1A and 1B is learn the playbook, and 2, coming out healthy. Like, just because, especially with this team and the injury history that they have, like, you don't look.
And I don't want to play scared. I don't want to be soft. I don't want to. But Patrick Paul is an irreplaceable player. Yeah. There is no left tackle on this roster other than him. Like, there isn't one. It's going to be a disaster if somebody else has to play. So can I afford for him to get rolled up on, or sprain a calf, or hurt a foot?
Nah. No, thank you.
But that's for people who get paid the big bucks to figure out and decide. If he does play, we doing pass sets the whole time. We
no run blocking for you, sir.
Yeah, no run blocking for you today, sir. So it'll be interesting to see. Give me a name that we have not talked about.
Name that we haven't talked about, someone that has been impressive. Yeah. I think we could give D. Eskridge a little bit more shine. Obviously, he actually no back. Let me back up, because D. Eskridge did drop the long ball today, but he made some good plays in one-on-one. Man, there was a catch that Malik Washington had in one-on-one where he, like, fully extended out. That was impressive. I think we haven't really talked about Malik Washington that much, but I can just remember when I first got on the beat last year and I'm watching them. Malik Washington was one of those players that I was very confused while they drafted him. Like, just full transparency during training camp. Obviously, he came on and established himself as a wide receiver 3 last year towards the end of the year, but obviously there's a lot of expectations for him this year, and we haven't really talked about him that much because he hasn't necessarily. It's not like he hasn't really been targeted for real.
He hasn't, but he's on the field with Tyreek and Jalen.
He is on the field. Yes, he is on the field with Tyreek and Jalen. But I think I just want to shout him out for that catch that he had today. I'm talking like full extension. I think he was doing like a slant, and
was it one-on-ones?
It was during one-on-ones. And Tua had put it out a little bit further than probably he would have liked, but he fully extended and grabbed it straight fingertips. Like it was extremely impressive catch. Got a lot of oohs and ahs from the crowd. Hopefully the Dolphins clip that up and they show that. But I mean, it's 1-on-1, so I probably not. But it was an extremely impressive catch.
Oh, they put up a clip on Tua and Jalen 1-on-1 today.
Okay. Then I'm gonna have
I don't know why you putting up 1-on-1 highlights. I guess
I don't get it, but
listen, it was red zone day. Maybe they don't want to show plays or they don't want to show, and I understand that. A 3rd and 2 conversion running the ball is not sexy. So it's not going now for the hardcore. It's probably sexy because Dolphins struggled with it, but that wasn't sexy. Maybe they showed Patrick Paul stonewalling Bradley Chubb for the 3rd straight day. It is. Woo,
they need to put some offensive line, defensive line one-on-one highlights out there because that would be. But then again, you don't want to. You don't want
to call and that's what they try not to do. They try not to call somebody out.
Yeah, especially not a leader like Bradley Chubb, man. You don't want to do that to him.
Yeah, I would like to see, and this is a special request that I'm asking. I would like to see Bradley and Jalen switch sides because I would like to see Jalen go against Patrick Paul to see if Patrick Paul just has Bradley's number because. I've seen him dominate Bradley. I've seen him dominate Chop, but I haven't seen him dominate Jalen. So I'm curious to see what that would look like. But he's doing quite well for himself. On that note, Dolphins in Depth. Like, subscribe. We thank you for continuing to watch. Again, the goal is to be here and do this podcast every day that we have a training camp practice. That means we'll be back tomorrow. It is a members only practice.
Yep.
I would tell you to go, but it's a little tricky because it's a members only day. They trying to get a little exclusivity out there, a little special treatment for the season ticket holders.
Of course.
But Sunday is a general public day, ticket or not, you should go because they're not gonna turn you away. Just tell them Omar said you could.
Tell them specifically Omar Kelly sent you. Do not mention my name. I got no pull.
I'm gonna speak to my ticket takers tomorrow. I'm gonna be like, yo, they say my name. That you gotta let them in. All right. You don't think I got that juice? All right. I used to be in the ticket taking community. Now, that's how I started.
Look, I know you got juice. You're the one getting Ocho Cinco on the field and everything. That's all you.
Listen, Ocho get access to whatever Ocho wants. So that's my dog.
Okay.
All right, folks, we appreciate it, and we will see you tomorrow.
Peace.